For the past 8 years, I haven't stayed in the same postal code for more than 12 months. I am reflecting on my journey, experiences with substance abuse, escapism, what I've learned, and how to flip the narrative into something more positive. This is just my own thoughts. I am what you call a professional drifter. I do things to progress my professional life, which on paper, be it CV or qualifications, is a great idea. However, with everything comes drawbacks, and as you would expect, my social life suffers. Needless to say, and we don't even need to cite any studies, that a person who moves around too frequently to even plant roots will establish a vast yet empty world. No matter your personality, we all crave human connection, community, and the satisfaction that comes from knowing that we are positively impacting the lives of those around us. Doing such actions positively contributes to overall feelings of fulfillment and happiness, and likewise leads to the formation of more meaningful romantic relationships. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a social character and somewhat settle into new locations fairly easily. I build some deeper friendships fairly quickly, and I don't hold myself back from deeply impacting people's lives. However, at the back of my mind, I can't help but feeling a bit lonely, because I know that those friendships and communities I've entered into are only temporary. Furthermore, in the grand scheme of things, I know that within a year I won't have any contact with these people, nor will the thought of them often even cross my mind. Initially, when I started adulting and first started traveling, I would somewhat connect with people on a deeper level. I would not waste time, and I would somewhat rush into letting people into my life, getting closer with them and developing a routine of meeting up with them. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. More often than not, the people I would let into my life at that time were parasitic. Not all, but a large number. I will get into this later. However, the older I got and the more I moved between provinces, schools, jobs, social circles, the less I started letting people get to know me on a deeper level. I guess it's difficult to let people in, share my struggles and ambitions while supporting their dreams, empathizing with them on their struggles, and offering my emotional and physical support when I've accepted that this person will only be a seasonal character in the series of my life. It's difficult to not be nihilistic, and it grows increasingly difficult to not be pessimistic when we've chosen the lifestyle of a wanderer. The question remains, does it need to be like this always? Okay, let's break things down logically. Everyone you meet, whether you're a traveler or you stay in one place and one community your whole life, will essentially only be in your life temporarily, and likewise you them. Circumstances happen, people move on, they get better jobs, people die, people change. Understanding life means understanding that nothing is permanent or constant. The only difference is that I've chosen to be in control of the time frame for the most of it. It still doesn't make it feel less empty though. Growing up, I've realized that I don't need to be nihilistic or force something deeper and unnecessary. What would be more constructive for myself is to live in the moment, be part of the world, and not shy away from meeting and connecting with people, regardless of how temporary that connection might be. The key tenet here is that I need to continue being a person doing the things I love and enjoy, hiking, sports, eating, and socializing. Whenever I move, I need to first establish myself and seek out already existing communities where my interests are present. The mistake I made, or may have made in the past, is that I've always been trying to have my interests overlap and only try to develop one community wherein all the members are interested in everything that I was interested in. Growing older, I now realize what a batshit immature mindset that was to have. Before I break things down, here's a bit of background. In my early 20s, I used to love partying and getting fucked up. I was in a perpetual bender of sorts, cycling between various different drugs and constantly drinking or smoking weed. Evidently, that lifestyle consisted of friends and social circles that would have also been so heavily fucked up and intoxicated, and being or getting fucked up would be at the core of any of our so-called adventures. Here's the thing though, that particular lifestyle is a recipe for emptiness. If everyone is escaping something or needing a substance just to be social, then obviously no matter how hard you try, no deep or meaningful connection can come from such a place. Which is why for the most of it, I've always felt as if my friends were somewhat parasitic. Furthermore, if getting fucked up was at the core of whatever we were doing or whatever the group was into. My idea of developing a community of people who are down to do a variety of different things would soon prove impossible. It's very difficult to set out on an engaging and challenging hike, for example, with people who needs to get fucked up and have a few beers just before doing anything. It's difficult to develop any meaningful business ideas with people who choose to spend all the income on bags of snow or bottles of lean. It's even more impossible to plan a weekend away or multi-day adventure with people who don't even have any spare money because they spent it all at the same club they go to every single weekend. So back to the point I was trying to make. Being a traveler, a wanderer, a drifter, whatever the fuck you want to call it, can be a very beautiful and mind-opening experience. However, I feel like you need to first establish the few things to get the most out of your lifestyle and feel satisfied and wholesome. So let's break it down. The first step to establish is why you have chosen such a lifestyle. If you are a wanderer because of some deeply rooted notion of escapism, mental problems will ensue. I personally had to come to terms with this, realize that I was escaping and running away from myself. Once I came to this realization, I was able to acknowledge what I am and why I seek out this lifestyle. So now I reframed it as I'm a wanderer because this world is so vast and beautiful and it is filled with amazing and interesting people. Experiences are all the way out there and I want to explore and experience everything that this world has to offer. So the next step is to know who you are as a person. You need to formulate your core, have a foundation to stand on. And I first needed to establish a foundation of who I am, what I value, and what my interests truly are. By understanding my capabilities and understanding what I need to work on physically and mentally, I was able to formulate who I am. And then once you know certain things about yourself, it makes it easier to seek out other people, adventures, gatherings and communities where you will feel most engaged and involved. It will make connecting and socializing flow more naturally and not feel forced as you are bonding while doing some common interest. The third step is being sober. Now don't get me wrong, having a beer now and then, sharing a bottle of wine or smoking a blunt at the beach on a random sunset is perfectly normal and unproblematic human behavior. The issue comes about when you allow a buzz to become a lifestyle and you're constantly finding yourself fucked up every other night. It's also important to choose your company wisely. As we are growing older, we have to realize it's counterintuitive to our long-term happiness if we are constantly surrounding ourselves by people who are getting fucked up more often than not. Being a degenerate and being surrounded by degenerate behavior is undoubtedly going to fuck up your long-term peace and happiness. It also goes without saying, stay the hell away from hard drugs. It's a slippery slope. But what lifestyle, or the lifestyle that comes from it, is always going to be empty. So the fourth step is learning about and researching where you are going. If you are going to be staying in a place for 6 to 12 months or 2 years, don't be complacent, bruh. Develop a bucket list of things that you would like to do and see, plan it out. That way you always have these micro goals to work towards, adventures planned out, and somewhat make the most out of the place you are living in. That way when you leave and you're going off onto your new location, new adventure, you don't leave with any regrets. And step 5 is having the finances sorted out. If you are moving because of a job opportunity, first ensure that it is worth it for you. It will enhance your CV, the hours aren't insane, and the pay is proportional to the cost of living in the area. If these criteria are met, if these criteria aren't met, then there's barely any reason to move, because what are you moving for? You're escaping again. So rather just stay where you are and grow for another year, and then when the opportunity arises, then travel. So now side notes in terms of careers, like what career would be most beneficial for this. So this is what I'm doing, and ideally, if this is the lifestyle you have chosen, then your career path or income stream has to complement this and not hold you back. So I personally do freelance web design and digital marketing. And after dropping out of my honors degree in psychology last year, I've decided that now next year in 2027, I would like to pursue a BSc in informatics at UNISA, which is a remote or distance learning university in South Africa. So the degree will hopefully and eventually allow me to one day get a remote tech job in either data analytics or system analysis, whatever. It's all just hopes and dreams until I come right, and hopefully I do come right. So for the rest of this year, I will then be spending the next 4 months wandering the Middle East and staying in different mosques with a group of about 10 other strangers from South Africa. So I'm not really deeply religious, but this seems like it's going to be a fun adventure. And I can't wait to see how it goes. Sharp, you know it goes, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.